The idea of the garden came because of some of the people I was working with in hospital who were desperate for outside space. And when the opportunity came to have this space, this roof garden space available, I raised it with a committee I was working with. It went up to the senior management of NHSG and they supported the idea of creating a garden to take some of our longest term and illest patients outside, walking in a wheelchair or a bed.
Being in a hospital, it has its whole different set of problems and challenges. And I guess the main thing is that we wanted to be able to design it so beds could come out into the garden, but if we made the whole garden accessible for beds, there'd be no space for anything else. So we've made areas where beds can be rolled out. It was a beautiful day today, and just imagine how nice it would be for someone to come out in their bed and just experience this.
Because of some of my volunteering work with the National Trust for Scotland, one of the gardeners, Diana Robertson at Drum, gave me Professor Dunnett's name. I gave him a wee call, I'd never met him before, and his immediate response was, yes, I'd like to work with you in relation to the garden. What we didn't know at that time was that in fact he was working on a garden for the Chelsea Flower Show, a roof garden that subsequently was going to be offered to us by the Royal Bank of Canada. Robertson Construction have built a huge number of the buildings here, and from that point of view they were the natural people not only to build it, but in fact hugely generously from Bill Robertson we're receiving a really significant donation, which is why the garden is going to be called the Robertson Family Roof Garden.
I think this garden is needed not just at ARI. I think every single hospital in the country should have gardens, and not just roof gardens like this, but they should be surrounded by gardens, because there's been endless studies that show people who've access to gardens or can see trees actually get better quicker. And so there's a huge economic benefit to doing that as well. So I would like to see this as a pioneering example of what should happen everywhere in hospitals.
Initially, we wondered, could it simply be a space with plant pots and some seating? Could it be a space in which maybe we created some flower beds? But of course we've gone on to have the water feature, to have this super shelter, which was designed by the same company who designed the Olympic flame. And to see all the elements coming together in this design, I think will be of great benefit to our patients, relatives and staff.
I think the fantastic thing is that there's been so much support from the hospital, but this has largely been generated through fundraising and through the fantastic efforts of the volunteers who are here planting now. And this is a combination of people's passion, as well as the support of the organisation, I think can be achieved in many other places. So I hope it's a pioneering example.
My main hope is that it will become a space to which people who are trying to come to terms either with their own condition, their recovery, or perhaps a diagnosis that's really hard to take, or their families or the staff caring for them, that all of these groups, each of these groups will actually find that the garden will be a place just for reflection, for thinking, for moving forward, whatever the future holds.